Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm back to give you another tarot reading today. This time I have my friend with me. He doesn't have a name, but I was like thinking Stuart would be good, so we're just gonna go with Stuart the bear. He's here to hang out and give some comforting vibes. And we're just gonna see what wants to come out today. Are you feeling like apprehensive or suspicious about something? I'm hearing like something's not right. Like almost like I don't know quite what it is, but something is not right. I don't really feel like there's a lot of messages like coming through intuitively right away, but there's definitely a lot coming out in the cards. So that's kind of interesting. I'm getting that you're really suspicious and guarded about something. Big time. We are unsure about something. We are like hardened by something, about something, towards something. Hey, don't do that. Life could feel really like serious or just like intense, hardcore in some way. There could be something really, I almost want to say problematic going on, or just something that it's like keeping you closed off. Like you have this closed off like wall. Like you don't feel very open. It feels very serious, pretty solemn. I'm definitely gonna need a whole lot of cards for this one, I think, because I mean, that could just be even a reflection of your energy. Like it just feels sort of like I'm not getting a lot energetically. You might not feel like you're able to reach out for help about something. Or there's like something you really don't want to let go of. And so it's like you're trying to like protect it, like harbor it. This feels a lot like fear and anxiety, especially like fronting as defensiveness, protectiveness. You might even feel like a part of you might feel like you should be able to be more innocent and like happy-go-lucky and free-spirited right now, but it feels like you can't. It feels like you have to put some boundaries or like barriers up. We're afraid to let something go. We're afraid to be vulnerable. We're afraid to give something up. We're like really afraid to be vulnerable about something. We are trying to hold our ground, and we won't back down, is what I just heard. Isn't that a song? You know, it's a song. Okay, there's something about you attracting in a lot of energies that might not be desirable for you. And so you know that you have something that needs to be protected and you don't want to give it up. And you might feel like it's like putting you in a position where you have to be so much more like almost cold-hearted. I'm not saying you are cold-hearted. I'm not saying you are cold-hearted. I'm just saying like I think you feel like you're being put in a position where you can't just be like joyful and free and as like happy and like yourself. Like it's like you don't feel like you can show your true inner bright nature. I wonder if people are trying to manipulate you and like play mind games with you and like use manipulation tactics, and it's like you can see through it. You can like see what's happening. You can see what people are trying to do. Like they're trying to get something out of you. So it's like you have to put these walls up. It's like somebody's like trying to like break down your barriers. Like they're trying to get into your like enclosure. I don't know if you feel like you're a caged animal because of this or something, but it's like somebody's trying to like get in and you're having to be very like strong and stoic in yourself to keep them out. You're just drawing people in, you're attracting them in. You have something alluring, seductive, and like even sexy about you that like is drawing people in. There's like, this sounds kind of weird, but this is just like what came through. It's like there's like a sweet aroma like coming out off of you, energetically, or, you know, for like literal, like something palpable even, like could be like you smell really nice, or you just look really nice, or you have something going for you. You have something precious, like a jewel. And I think you know this. I think you know this about yourself. And so people are like wanting to take that from you, or like they're being drawn in towards you. And you're like, excuse me, this is not for sale. This is mine. I will give it to whoever I desire to give it to, and not your butt just because you want it and you're trying to like manipulate me or whatever. You can feel kind of isolated because of this. Like you're sort of trapped, or you're sort of stuck in this position where you have to be so closed off and almost sort of like removed from people. And also that's a really interesting position to be in because, excuse me, because it's like, it's not necessarily you think you're all this and that, and so you're putting yourself on a pedestal and you're like, I'm above everybody else. No, it's just that, like, I don't necessarily think you want to be there, you know what I mean? I don't think you necessarily want to be upheld in that way, or like perceived in that way, because it like misses the point of who you are, like other parts of you that want to be seen more than just, and like you want to be seen as more than just like a desirable object, you know? You're not like this mystical creature that's just there for other people to like enjoy and take whatever they want from. Like, you're a human being and you deserve to be respected as a whole entire person. So you don't have to be so closed off. But that feels like the position you're in right now. I feel like you want to break out of it. Like, you want to just dip. You want to get out of there. You want to just abandon, like, escape from that enclosure, like that trapped in feeling. I almost wonder if it feels like 1 step back, 2 steps forward. No, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward. I feel like it might feel more like 2 steps back, 1 step forward for you. Where you feel like you make an effort and you kind of just find yourself back into this position. Like, it's like you feel like you can't pierce the barrier. Like, you can't just break out. But you desire to escape so bad. Like, you want to get out of there. You want to, like, you want to bust out of there. Like the Kool-Aid man. Like, you just want to get out. But you feel sort of trapped, sort of stuck. Like, this sort of isolated feeling that you have. You have, like, it's like this isolation. Where you feel like you're looking down on others and people are, like, putting you up. But it's like, you don't want that necessarily. You want to escape from that. You don't want these expectations or these projections. You don't want to necessarily be the receptor to all these people's desires and like whatever they want out of you, because, you know, in a lot of ways it's probably just a projection, right? Or like, yeah, it's just focused on what their wants and desires are of you, and not necessarily about who you are truly as a person. I think you know this. You know you're hot crap and you're very desirable, and this energy is not for you. Like, you don't want this, you know? You don't want to be like upheld and almost like you're in a league of your own, because that's how like amazing you are and how amazing other people see you to be. But you want an equal. Of course. Right? So let's see, what else? Yeah, this feels like I just heard, I don't want to say like it is literally wasted energy, but I did hear wasted energy. I think you feel like a lot of your energy is wasted and sapped trying to like break out of this, because it feels like you just kind of get sucked back into this position for some reason. You want somebody that's going to, this feels like love related. I don't know if it's like a literal love reading, but I just heard like, I just want somebody to respect me. I just want somebody that respects me in what I want, and not just the other way around, you know? Like, that just expects me to give and give and give and give and provide for them and be, you know, everything that they want me to be. it's hard. Like, you crave this to die. Like, that energy, you just want it gone. You want something new, but we just feel so stuck in this. It's like we put so much energy into trying to break out, and then we just get pulled back in to the enclosure, to the trap, to the cage. Trap is interesting. I wonder if, like, previously you have been, like, trapped into this feeling, or, like, that's how it feels. Maybe once upon a time you were much more open with yourself, with your heart, with, you know, your little jewel that you have. That is just you and your being and your essence, because you're so amazing. You used to be much more open, and then maybe that got, sorry, I have hair in my eye. You might have been much more open to that, and then got taken advantage of, manipulated, destabilized, like pulled out of yourself. And so you've probably worked really hard to build yourself back up, right? Or, like, I see that you put so much energy trying to, like, break out of this, and it's like you've gotten to a place now where you know you need to have such strong boundaries and barriers of entry to you. But it's sad. I think it might feel sad, or I feel sad, you know, seeing this, because it's like you have this bright side of your personality that's so much more open and generous with your time and your energy, and I feel like that's what you want to give, but you don't trust the people around you to be able to receive that and to respect that, to respect you. So it's like that has to stay covered, and it doesn't get to be expressed. And I just see, like, a desire, such a strong desire to break out of that, you know? You've made yourself sort of an impenetrable force. It's interesting because it's like you're like an impenetrable force, like you have an impenetrable barrier around you, but then it's also like you feel like whatever is, like, there's like a barrier to you escaping this, and like that also feels like impenetrable, like being put in this position where people put you on a pedestal, or they just want to take from you, or they try to, like, get at you or mess with you or something. I think you want to be treated softly, like you matter, like you're worth something. You want to be treated like the jewel that you are, you know? You want to be seen, and you want to be seen deeply and truthfully. You want somebody that gives what they get from you. You might feel pretty hopeless about this. And, like, yeah, like you're ready to just give up. Like, well, it seems like no matter what I do, I'm just gonna get back into this energy, whether I want to or not. It seems like no matter what I do, it doesn't really matter. Like, all my efforts just kind of lead nowhere. And it feels like you're just waiting for somebody to see you, for something to change. Like, waiting. You might, in a sense, sort of be waiting for somebody to, like, come along and rescue you. That could be possible. So you're kind of making yourself an island in the meantime. But it feels like you're just waiting. You're waiting for something to change. You're waiting for something that brings the color back into your life and makes things feel, like, bright and shiny again, because it's just felt so closed off and cold and isolated, and you feel like you've had to embody that energy, and you don't want to, but it feels like hopeless, and it feels like you might be giving up hope on something new coming in and changing for you. You are ready for this to go. You are ready to move on from this. But it feels like you maybe just don't know how, or, like, maybe you don't think it's possible. And so you might feel like you've had to enter, like, it's sort of giving, like, a dark feminine femme fatale energy. And I don't know what gender or what energies you tend to embody, like masculine or feminine. I don't necessarily think that is important. I think this is speaking to a feminine aspect of yourself, because we're kind of talking about, like, giving and receiving, and how I think you've been taken from more than you've gotten back. And feminine energy is all about receptivity. So we're sort of in that realm. And it feels like you've had to like, yeah, it feels like dark feminine. Like you've had to like embody that. Maybe more so than you would want, or like you've had to really like cultivate that aspect of yourself. If that is like a natural inclination you have, it's like you've had to really lean into like the dark side of like, yeah, like being just like so closed off.
Just to be clear, I don't know anything about like dark feminine energy. I'm not saying it's all bad or it just means being closed off. I don't know anything about it at all. I think I was trying to say more like you maybe just feel like you've had to embody something that feels sort of much heavier and darker versus something lighter and like easier than you would like. Hope that makes sense.
Ideally, the feminine energy in us could be very open and open to receive too, and kind of give and receive, and it's like that flow, like, you know, that just like natural flow. But obviously the flow gets disrupted when we're not giving back and we're not getting anything back. So it's like we have to put a boundary in. But it feels like I almost want to say like we're just so much more like mature than we expected to be at this age because of something like this, or we're just so much more hardened and like closed off than we want to be. You might even feel like you've had to embody being like an old hag in the woods that just lives by herself because, like, you know, because the world is just like unkind to her, doesn't understand her. She contains multitudes, you know. So here it is. I feel like we're talking about what might be able to change here. So we have Death, which in this deck, this is actually the Fool. And then we have the Phoenix, which is the Hierophant. But it's like Death and the Phoenix. So it's like this death and rebirth. And we have this here with the 8th house, endings and beginnings, death and rebirth. So it's like, that's sort of the process that we need to go through. That we've been going through. I think you've been going through this transformation. This feels potentially like a dark night of the soul energy. So I want to tell you that all things must change. You're not going to be stuck in this energy forever as long as you keep going and you keep pushing. If part of what we're learning is to be more receptive and to accept and, you know, put boundaries up where it's necessary, but be open where we need to as well to what will bring us harmony in our life, right? Like that's not just going to take and take and take, and that will also give back. You might not necessarily have to do much of anything at all, if that makes sense. Like you might be thinking like, what am I doing wrong? If I just do the right things, if I just put in energy in the right places, you know, if I make the right choices, I think you're doing a good thing by protecting yourself. You might be not making enough space for the side of yourself that isn't so like closed off and hardened though. And I think that is what would be helpful to focus on, is letting yourself embody that, because then that will send energetic signals out that that's the energy that you want. Like that's the energy that you want back. You want to be open and receptive so that you're able to receive, so that the universe knows that you are ready to receive something. It's about balance. I feel like we might be overcorrecting right now, and fair enough. I talked about it in the last reading, like that's part of learning the sweet spot sometimes, is having those extremes that we bounce between sometimes. But don't give up hope. You have to keep going, but you don't have to keep wasting your energy and like spinning your wheels. So I don't know what you've done, like what that means exactly, to try to get out of this closed off energy, right? This hardened energy. I don't know what you've done. It feels like you've done too much, in the sense of like, I want to say there isn't really much for you to do at all. except to like nurture yourself and focus on yourself and give back to yourself and allow yourself to explore the things that you want. Do the things that you wish someone else would do for you, for yourself. It seems like a lot of it is like creating like space and like holding space for you to be free and like soft and not so like hardened and like sharp and like hyper aware or like hyper like vigilant about like a threat, right? So that you can relax. Like that's what you want. You want somebody to give you space to relax and like chill out. So I would focus on doing that for yourself, right? First, relaxing, letting yourself relax, letting yourself take a load off, letting yourself kind of just like come back to center, come back to your baseline, divorced from you know, whatever energies are around you. I think you've done a good job at creating like a sanctuary for yourself. Right now it feels like a cage, so I think this reading is about making that cage feel more like a sanctuary and then less of a trap and more like your space, right, to cultivate the energies that you want your life to have, like love, peace. I'm hearing awareness. So that could be like self-awareness. I was also thinking like sensitivity to you and your needs, like aware of what you need, right? Because I feel like that's been ignored. So it's definitely gonna take some resilience. Not necessarily in the way that you would expect, because I think you might think that in order to get what you want, you need to give something up that you don't want to give up. That doesn't feel safe to give up. It's like a piece of yourself, a part of yourself, this jewel that you have. Like maybe you think the only way to get what you want is to give that up, but you're like, I don't want to give this up because it doesn't go well when I do. I don't trust other people to take care of it correctly. You don't need to give it away to anybody, but I feel like in a way you're not even giving it to yourself. You might just not be focusing on yourself enough right now. So this could be like, if we're talking, and this is in regards to like relationships and love or whatever, you might be repeatedly finding yourself in situations where you're confronted with people like this who don't, you know, respect you properly. And so it's like you try to like, so it's like you run away, you get out of there, but then you try again, and you might just kind of find yourself repeatedly in situations of people that just don't seem to respect you, don't seem to see you, you know, that are more interested in taking than giving. And you're like, why does this keep happening? Why does this keep happening? And how do I escape? Why can I not get off this pedestal that people put me on? Like, why does this just keep happening? Why do I keep being put there? Why do I keep finding myself feeling like I'm, like there's the rest of the world and then there's me, you know? There's people outside my window. There's people outside the window. Okay, so we have the creator card here. This is the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck by Kim Krans. And I just want to read it to you because I feel like this is the exact energy that you would be seeking to embody, right? It feels like the exact energy that hasn't been explored as much, hasn't been able to come out and show itself because you've been so like closed off or whatever, right? So the creator, here, I'll hold it up again if you want to like get a good old look at it. There it is. The artist, the alchemist, the innovator, the creator, the first archetype in the trio of existence, is not intimidated by darkness or by lack. They know that from the void, creation inevitably emerges. With meager, minimal, and outlandish materials, the creator reveals a new image. They make the empty room resonate with healing sounds. They generate bounty from the seed that others tossed away. Though generative, this archetype annihilates preconceived notions of what is possible, leaving unexpected openings in the wake of its destruction. The creator does this by first being absolutely present to what is, in parentheses, not imagining or wishing things were different. So being present to what is, and second, trusting that a force greater than themselves awaits constant collaboration with each human soul. Whether we call it nature, God, goddess, Shakti, or divinity, it remains nameless. It is the creator's lifelong companion. The keywords are curious, playful, open, surprising. To increase your creator energy, ward off jadedness at all costs. Recommit to childlike curiosity and nix the rules. Definitely. Something about nixing the rules, because I'm pretty sure the crone, this is a crone, in this deck, and like this, I'm sorry, this is the crone card. Something about nixing the rules, because I know that this card, I think, also says something about, like, nixing the rules. So I think you might feel really stuck and trapped in a cycle and a pattern. And it could be because there's, like, a specific structure. For some reason, I'm really getting the example of, like, dating. So, for example, like, maybe in your culture, there's, like, a culture around dating where there's, like, certain expectations. And especially if you are a woman, like, you might be expected. For example, I grew up around a lot of Mormons, and I know that for, like, their stake dances or whatever, if, like, there was a rule that whenever a boy asked a girl, like, girl had to say yes. Like, she couldn't say no. And so if there's something like that for you, you might feel like, well, I'm just going to be stuck in this. Like, I don't have a choice. I don't have any options here. So you might have to really break out of whatever box you're trapped in, whatever structures exist for you. And a lot of it could just be other people's expectations of you or perceptions of you that you feel trapped by. Like, it could be even something that's not necessarily like a literal cultural expectation as much as like, well, I know other people are seeing me this way and I feel like stuck. I feel stuck in that perception that people have of me. You don't need to give a flying rat's butt about that, okay? I mean, I know that's so much easier said than done, and especially depending on what this is. If it is like a cultural thing too, like I know that can be very difficult. Like I actually don't know. I can't even imagine how difficult it could be to navigate that. And that's what you're being called to do, is like throw the rule book out the window and do your thing. Set your own rules. I think that's what you're trying to do now by setting those boundaries and those barriers. And I think at the same time, you're thinking that in order to do that, that means I have to betray or abandon this part of myself that is like innocent and curious and creative and happy and joyful and passionate, you know? That can shine and be bright and be out there and stand out without being afraid of who you're gonna attract, I guess. Like, that's kind of what it feels like being afraid that you're gonna attract something that's like not good. Excuse me. So I don't know why that might be a fear that you have, but I want to say, like, you can start by just, like I said, making like a space for yourself to fill all that color back into your life, to be that colorful person, to show the full spectrum of your being, right? So yeah, change is possible. I don't know if you're going through a personal year number 5. I know I am, and for some reason that just like came to me. So if you feel like you've been just sort of stuck, you know, if you feel like you're coming out of a dark night of the soul time and you're ready for things to be different, I hear you. I'm with you there. So I want this to be a really reassuring message then, because I do see there's a lot of validating what you've been through up until this point, and the frustrations and the stuck feeling and the wasted energy and the exhaustion with this just not ending, and it feels like it's never ending, and no matter how much you try to make it end, it just keeps starting up again. Finally, it's like there's going to be a shift, and then there's change, right? So do not compromise yourself. You are going to facilitate this change the more that you are allowing yourself to access those parts of you that you feel like you've had to close off and store away to protect them, right? The more that you're able to embody that and make space for that for yourself, the more that it's gonna get the ball rolling, you know. Don't tell yourself that things can never change. You might be telling yourself like a story of something like, the only way that this is gonna change is if I do the thing that I really don't want to do and be vulnerable in a way that I really don't want to be. Not necessarily true. I think there's gonna be a time and place for showing that vulnerability to somebody else, but it's gonna be on your terms and with somebody that, you know, checks your boxes for what's gonna make you feel safe to do that. Not what other people tell you, not what you feel like you should do, or what you feel like you have to if you ever want to be with somebody else. This feels very relational, like relationship related, or, you know, love related, other people related. If it's about something else, I don't know. Could this be about something else? It could be about, I just heard like culture, church, parents, family, loved ones. So it feels like your community. It could be about your community as well. It could be a mixture. I'm definitely getting very much, though, something about like some kind of like, and you can be any gender, but I'm getting like, it feels so somebody that's like embodying their masculine energy approaching you, and they're just going about it all wrong. Either trying to manipulate you, trying to destabilize you. They might try to neg you, like throw you off your high horse. Again, what is with the high horse? This came up in the last reading too. What they're really trying to get you to do is like betray yourself. Like they want you to like abandon yourself to be whatever they want you to be. And they want to like put out your flame and out your fire and put out all those amazing parts of you that you've been hiding away. Like it feels like that's threatened in you. That's why you want to shut it down and like hide it, because you don't want anybody to see it, because you don't want anybody to hurt it. You don't want it to be put out. That fire in you, like you don't want it to be put out. So it's hidden, but it's being suffocated in the process. It's like that very same part of you that you're trying to protect is also being hindered. This is about finding a way. Bulldozing over those people. Actually, shine bright, do it anyway. You can somehow have both. Like you can have your boundaries up where you need to and be open at the same time. I said somehow because I don't know what your situation is, and so I can't think of like a specific example, but I know that that is a very fundamental part of protecting our feminine energy. It's not about making sure that nobody can access us whatsoever. We just want to make sure that we are putting in the boundaries that we need to keep ourselves safe, while also allowing openings so that we can be in the flow with life that we want and the way that we want to be. Otherwise, this is when I think we get into this stuck, sad, solemn, heavy feeling where there's like no brightness anymore. There's no shininess anymore. Like, yes, we might be safe, but now we're isolated and in the dark. So you have an opportunity now, because I do think you've made a space for yourself. It feels dark and dreary right now. And it's also an opportunity for you to create something beautiful for yourself, right? Let yourself be the light in that dark room, you know? What does that mean to you? What is that going to look like? If you could just embody everything that you want to embody, like every part of yourself. If you could go out in the world and be everything that you want to be, what would that look like? Make sure you make space for yourself to do that. So we have I will, Leo, reverse, the sun, reverse, which rules Leo. And then we have Aries, I am. So this is a large part of this is also about like self-actualization, coming into yourself, rising like the phoenix, and being reborn. And like this fiery, bright ball of passion that you have within you. Letting it burst out. It might really feel like that when it finally comes out, like a great burst, because it's been so like kept away and like hidden. And you were doing it from a place of self-protection, but it's not serving you anymore to do that. Yep, so we gotta let that go. Releasing that fear, releasing that pain, that feeling of betrayal from other people. You might have really been done dirty by some people in the past, and that's painful. And that's likely where this fear is coming from. And it's also the attachment, like that fear is the attachment that's keeping you stuck in this energy. I don't know how much you might realize that. And I don't really know what that means, because that really just came through as like a channeled message. Like I'm just flowing now, okay? But you're ready for change. You're ready for transformation. The time has come. I kind of stuttered on that because I want to say the time is now. It's either right now or it's coming. This is a healing process for you and an opportunity for you to show that you have what it takes to heal yourself, like be your own savior, right? Not relying on other people to bring light back into your life. Realizing that you have all the light within you. It's the very thing that you've been hiding away. This jewel, right? This thing that you've been like hiding and keeping to yourself, that's the very thing that you're like seeking in somebody else outside of yourself. You have it all here. You might feel really hopeless that there's going to be any change at all. Especially because it might not look like much on the outside, but that's kind of the whole thing. It's like, it's about what you're able to cultivate for yourself. And realizing who you are and that you're bright and amazing, and like, how on earth did I ever manage to suppress all these parts of myself? I am so amazing. This is very much, it feels like tied to like the last reading in a lot of ways too. But like, I am the star of the show. I'm the star of the show. I am the star of my show. I can't believe I ever felt like I was not the main character of my own movie. Like, I am so much more than what other people have made me feel like I am, or insist that I am, perceive me to be, how they perceive me to be. I'm so much more than that. You are not just a monkey here for other people's entertainment. You are not just here as a source for other people to take from. You have your own gifts and talents and wants and needs and desires, and they deserve to be explored. So this is about setting out to explore them, really. Especially in a way that's going to manifest in like the physical reality. Like if this is like hobbies or taking more time for yourself, more self-care, taking yourself out to dates, letting yourself rest, meaningful actual rest, not just like when you're resting but you're not really resting because you're like stressing out, you know. Using these gifts that you have, these jewels, even not just one, like multiple, many, these things that other people want to take from you that you insist on keeping, you know, hidden away. You can bring it out, but just give it to yourself, right? It's yours. So it's yours to do with whatever you want to do with it. Other people are not entitled to it. Just because you have it, and you're probably a very healing person. This could be a lot of like healing energy that people are drawn to you for and like want to take from you. Just because you have it doesn't mean you're entitled to give it away. It doesn't. It's yours. It's yours. It belongs to you. So you keep it. You keep it to yourself. You keep it for yourself though. It's for you. And then when you're ready, share it. But you don't have to let this fear that somebody's going to take advantage of you keep you so isolated and stuck. You don't have to let this fear hold you back so much. So with an ending comes a new beginning. So then it's about focusing on what that new beginning is. What do you want that start to look like for you? What do you want that new life, this new version of you, what do you want that to look like? What do you want that to be? Start embodying that now. Don't wait. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for the right time. The right time is right now. There's so much to explore about yourself that has been hidden away and kept away for so long. You might have even forgotten about certain parts of yourself. Like, oh my God, I didn't even know that this was a part of me. I forgot that this even existed, or like I never even knew that it did to begin with. So then it's just like about fully becoming all of that, all of those parts of yourself, letting them shine out. Loud and proud. And you can whip out the claws when you need to. I mean, this is a lot of fire energy I'm seeing. Fire is awesome. It's bright. It can warm people up. But you know what? It can also burn you when it's necessary, right? If you come too close, if you cross a boundary, cross a barrier, don't be afraid. Throw down that boundary. Throw down that cold, hard wall real quick, real fast. Do it when it's necessary. But it feels like right now it's just like a permanent fixture all the time. And it's even like towards yourself. Like you have it, like boundaries internally with yourself. So like all these parts of you are kept away, hidden away. They're ready to come out. They're ready to burst out and be seen. So let those inner walls go. And then just like see what comes out of that. See what happens when you give yourself that complete creative freedom in your life to just be and do whatever you want to do. I wonder if there's certain gifts that you have that you really do want to share with the world, and that might be where this frustration is coming from, and why you keep trying to again and again and again share it with people, because you want to and you sense that you're meant to. It's just about the right time and the right place. And I actually think you don't even know the half of it. Like, you are aware that you've got stuff going on for you, but I don't think you actually even know the half of how much you've got going on for you, because I don't think you've done enough self-exploration yet to fully know that. And I think you're going to really surprise yourself. And I think that's so beautiful. And yeah, I'm wishing you all the luck in doing that. You got this. You're so amazing. You're so incredible. You can break out of this. You have what it takes to end this cycle. To integrate this change. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I mean, I know what I'm trying to say, but I don't know what word I'm looking for. Hopefully you know what I mean. You have what it takes to initiate this change. So, and it's not outside of yourself, it's inside yourself. So you have all the tools at your disposal, and they're all in here. So yeah, I hope you're able to find that. I hope that you found something helpful in this message, in this reading. And yeah, good luck. You're amazing, don't forget that. And I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye.